Today, I am so blessed to have this happy wife with us. That she is a former client now because she completed coaching with me and really transformed her life. And so today, she agreed to come on and to share her testimony because it is so powerful. And we really, in this stand for intact, happy, healthy, thriving marriages and a legacy of love for our children, she's willing to come on and be vulnerable and to share in the hopes of inspiring other women who maybe are struggling right now in their marriages and not having all the success or the joy that they want. And so today, would just love to have you maybe share a little bit about, well, first, welcome to the call, right? Like, I'm so glad that
Thank
you're
you.
here, and for your courage and vulnerability. But tell us a little bit about like what it was, what were you experiencing when you reached out to me for coaching support?
I had read the book and practiced the skills, but just knew I needed a little bit more. And a friend had referred me to you. And it was, I'm just so grateful I had the courage to say yes and sign up for that coaching. It just went farther than the book could ever go and really helped me just to tackle uh, several odd, things that we've been going through that I didn't really know how to overcome. And I think I had the misconception with the book is I really felt kind of like a doormat, and that's not what the Empowered Wife is at all. So you would really help me with our coaching to overcome those obstacles and the thought process, and diving into those thoughts that I had and what was going on, and really taught me how I was showing up. And it's like a blind spot. You don't know that's how you're showing up. You want this, but then you're showing up a certain way to not get that. So that's, we were in a really rough spot to where I had hit my knees begging God for something because I was just really at a spot where we'd had a really bad visit with my in-laws, and I just hit my knees that night and begged Jesus in tears to say, just do something. I need something. And we'd been in marriage counseling. We were seeing a counselor. It just wasn't working. We were just getting farther and farther apart. And I I had reached out to a friend to tell her what was going on, and it was a marriage contract. It was horrible. I found it since, and it's horrific to read. I ripped it up because it was just so horrible. But it was a contract that our therapist had made of what we agreed to do, each of us, which really was just a list of what he shouldn't do, and it wasn't fair. And she had just said, "Hey, maybe try this," and she sent me the book, and that was in March, and then I started working with you that October. So that's how quickly I signed up for coaching. So I jumped right into the book, did the skills, quickly turned really well, and then I just had a few like more things that I wanted to work on, and that's what coaching. I work with you with coaching.
Hmm. Are you willing to share any of the, like, were there any specific kind of challenges that you were having? Were you guys like fighting all the time? Was it the kids? Was it money? Like, what was going on in your house?
I had received really bad advice that he needed to make me happy. That was his goal, and or his job. And basically, I just expected him to make me happy. So he should have come in and done this. You should do this, do that. And I also had a really bad habit of sitting around and waiting for him to make plans with me instead of just doing what I wanted to do, or like saying, "Hey, I'd really love to go out to lunch. Would you like to join us?" That kind of stuff. Um, that that was probably that was the worst advice I'd gotten, is just he has to make me happy, and I needed to always protect myself. I had an aunt that had been really badly treated by two different men, and always told me, don't let your guard down. Like, always have a backup plan. Well, that's a horrible way to enter marriage. So we had separate finances because at that time I thought it worked and it made us not fight about money. Well, it just never made me fully surrender and fully commit. I always had that one foot out. Like, I'd be okay if I needed to get a divorce, which I know, but then I knew we couldn't get a divorce because I'm Catholic. So it just was a really hard mindset. Um, my husband loves to hunt, so that's a very big hobby of his, to where he's gone a lot, and that always was hard and made me feel like he just didn't want to be around us. He'd rather be out in the woods hunting. So I say hunting was one of our biggest things we thought about. And then also just his time on the phone with just with friends. He'd be in the garage for hours, and it's like, what are you doing? So there's chaos happening in here. So that's probably the biggest. And then my husband, enjoys alcohol more than I wish he did. But that's on his paper, and that's really what I'm learning to let go of, and that's a really big surrender to Jesus that I'm having to walk.
Hmm. Yeah.
And coaching really has helped with that, just to know it's on his page, and that that's what I was trying to control through counseling. That's really what we were trying to work on. Um, and that contract was never going to work. It just made him want to do it more. And I really just have to let that go, and set, healthy boundaries and safety nets for, our children. But, that's really what I needed to focus on.
Yeah, you're choosing to let it go because you're choosing to have a
Hmm.
different focus, right? And yeah, you're definitely not a doormat by any stretch. So tell me, like through coaching, what are some of the things that you've seen change, or was it in you? Was it in him? Like what's happening now?
I am just much happier and more peaceful. I will, it, it's me, like every morning I get up and go on a walk by myself. We have three children, but I do it when he's still at home, and I'm able to go on a walk and spend time in prayer, and that really sets my day up really well. I find little things that make me happy. That all didn't happen before. I was really burnt out and tired. So I've really, like, self care. I mean, I've just really amped up my self care, and I'll run errands without the kids. My husband will offer, like, hey, I'm just, or I'll go pick up, if we're going to pick up takeout, and, he's offered to, let me just go pick up a pizza. He'll keep all the kids while I drive there, and just that drive without any kids in the car is such a nice little break. I'll go grocery shopping, by myself. There's little things that I've figured out how to do that it's already something I'm going to do, but I've figured out how to make it self care. I don't know if that makes sense, but, um,
100%. Time
yeah,
without
yeah,
kids is like, oh,
yes,
I can imagine
yeah,
just going
even,
grocery shopping. Like if you take the kids, it's like, oh my gosh, like you get out of there. And I mean, I actually remember leaving a cart full of groceries one day because the kids were acting up so much. And I was like, okay, we're done. I'm out. And I left the groceries back. I mean, we were just, it was so chaotic, right? And then I had another girlfriend who would go at 10 o'clock at night all by herself. And she said to me, Carol, this is the best time to go grocery shopping. No kids. And I'm like, really? That late at night? But yeah, it's like, gosh, sometimes you love them to pieces, but you need some breaks sometimes. So
yeah,
yeah, wow, wow, wow.
yeah.
So any other things that you were complaining about before or that really stressed you out that maybe improved?
Oh, the phone. I mean, my husband still enjoys talking on the phone. He'll do that after work. I know that, but it's his self care is what I've learned about. And then he'll come find me, which is hysterical. He now finds me wherever I am, and he'll follow me, like, to talk to me, which is really cute. And that's never happened before. Like, he can't wait to give me a kiss and say hello. Like, there's just joy. There's joy between the two of us when we get to come back together from, like, being apart. There's joy. It's a smile. It's a hi babe. It's a wink. Even if he's on the phone, he'll wink at me like, I see you. Like if I'm out getting something out of the freezer, or something. And I just have learned that that's his time. And if he's talked on the phone for a while, he will apologize. He'll say, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was talking that long. And I don't need that. I figured out how to get through my evenings. I've just learned to control, like you've taught me. It's not what's happening, it's our thoughts about it. So it's really trying to control what's going on in my brain and all those thought processes that are going through. So yeah, he's follows me now to say hi. He wants to talk all the time, which is so sweet. We go on a lot more dates. We've been trying to go on dates every single. We were on every week, but then we had a baby, so now we're on monthly. Or we'll just sit and talk after the kids go to bed. We really try to just connect together, and like, I planned the date for his birthday, and all I did was arrange the babysitter, and we got to lunch, and he told me three times, thank you so much for planning this, it's so much fun to just be here with you. And that's a huge change. Old dates were like, we're gonna go on a date, okay, and we had fun, like, we had good conversation, but it's like our marriage is better than it's ever been, and we're 13. We're about to be married 13 years next month, and we've never been this happy. Our newlywed stage was rough. I wish I had the book all those years ago. It would have just been you. It would have changed so many things. But it really, he tells me every single day, thank you. I can make a frozen pizza, and the man tells me, thank you. Thank you for dinner. It's so great. It's a frozen pizza. Like, it just, so he's just so pleased. He wants me to be happy, and I like to make him happy. There's little things I do, like making his coffee in the morning. I know that means a lot to him. So the days I have the time, I always make him coffee, and he always says thank you on the way out the door. He told me recently, we have a 5 month old, and he just said, I don't know how you do it. You are joyful every single day. If I had your sleep schedule, I would be miserable. I would be so mean to everybody around, but you were always nice to all of us. So that meant a lot. That's postpartum. He told me that, which is huge. And he also told me I used to hate being home, and now I hate to be gone. And it's a really weird thought process in my head. I feel like something's wrong with me. He's like, I want to go hunting, but then I don't because I don't want to leave you. And that's, yeah, it's huge. So he just
That's
tells
a
me how much he loves me.
huge change because I can remember you guys having, because didn't he go hunting on Christmas Day was it
Oh
last year
yeah,
or the year before? And
yeah,
you were
yeah. And
like,
I was fine. I was fine
yeah,
because I was coaching. Like I just was like,
yes.
he went away for 2 hours, and it's yeah, Christmas Day. My husband went hunting, and I was fine with it. Which is that's just if you would have told me that 2 years ago, I'd been, what are you talking about?
Right. Two
So
years ago, you
it's
were really upset about him hunting all the time.
yes, yes.
Yes.
He would come home, and I would be very not kind. Like I just was not kind. I play it in my head of just how snippy I was, and I went to bed a lot of nights angry and sad. And now that that doesn't happen. There's things that I probably wouldn't have communicated, but there's things that we've set boundaries with, but I did it in a respectful way to where I never said you. I made it just is a whole different way, a whole different dance in our house. Like even if there's a conflict, it's so short lived that it's just you move on so quick. It's just like okay, and it's just not even if I'm slightly bit entering his paper or on his paper, trying to, I always apologize. And he's so sweet. He'll be like, no, I asked for your opinion. I want that. So it's just a sweet, and there's other times he's like, no, I appreciate that. Like if it's just, I can say sorry so much faster and mean it. He also says sorry. It's just a different,
Whole we're just joyful. Our house is laughter.
we had a dance party on Sunday night with our kids and just laugh. We laughed so hard. Like it just, that's a whole new thing to where my 10-year-old even said, our son's 3, our other son, and he said this time with this last baby was so much more. I was such a nicer mom. That's because I have the skills and I had coaching. Like it just. So my 10-year-old noticed it. My 3-year-old tells me that I'm the best mom and I love you so much, mommy. So it's just the whole. And if I'm, if there's a day I'm tired and snippy, I always apologize to everyone that and then we try to get outside. We try to go do something fun or have a dance party, and it's been fun.
So this baby was you weren't thinking there was going to be another baby, and here
No, there was
uh,
no. This was our love baby from
The skills.
love baby, and I love it because many women in my group had love babies, and it's like
yes.
this is so awesome, right? That you can
Yeah,
restore
We're two
parents.
and done. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We had a lot of we had struggles with having more children, and after we were blessed to have after 5 years of infertility to have our second son. Thought I was done, and then it was our love baby. Yeah, it was a definite yes, and it's really sweet, and she's the sweetest thing. So it's been really fun.
And your experience postpartum is completely different.
100% different.
Why do you
Absolutely.
think?
I'm just grateful. The days that are hard, I do drop 10. So I make myself either list 10 gratitudes. As soon as I had her, I was every single day listing gratitudes to stay in gratitude, um, journaling, really just focusing, praying. I mean, I do a lot of surrendering to God. This stage of life, you just really have to surrender. There's so much out of my control, and I know that. But it's really just I just was happier. I really just tried to find the little things that made me happy. Like if I want a piece of chocolate or I take naps when I'm tired, like that's a huge thing. I didn't used to do that. I push through because I got to get this checked off the list. I've really learned it's a list. I got to make sure we are fed and we have clean clothes. Other than that, like it's okay. Like it's really okay if the floor has a sticky spot today. It's okay. Like we'll get it tomorrow. It's really learning to not overdo it. And if I don't overdo it, I'm really nice. If I overdo it, I know I'm not. I'm snappy, and that's the biggest. That's another huge change. Is I know my limitations.
I don't commit to too much. So
Yeah. And so what
yeah,
I hear is that more like I think that you really have stepped into your true best self, more ease and flow we talk about, to be able to yeah, like allow life to go with the flow, to receive the blessings, to be mindful of the blessings. So it sounds like you're really working on your thought patterns, which is a lot of what we do on my campus, is really mastering our mindset. And so tell me more about like how did coaching specifically help you to make these changes?
Well, the thought download is huge. Even I had a rough situation where I sat down and wrote down this is my thought, and then it just breaking that down of that's not what's happening, and just really the thought. That's what's different from just the empowered wife, and then with coaching. Coaching is so much mindset, which our mind can either help you or it can really hurt you. And there's times that it's really hurt me to where it's just spinning that bad thought of like, he doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about me. And I remember the first thing we broke down, the topic was, I can't remember the topic, but it was just like, oh my goodness. Like it just how I was showing up and what I was receiving. And it made perfect sense once you break it down. And it isn't that he doesn't care about me. Like his mind is, in other places. Like today, I mean, there's certain times that you just know, like, if he's busy with his mind is somewhere else, he's not going to want to visit, and that's fine. Like he doesn't have to. Just like if I am busy with something, there's just that mutual respect that, I don't know. It's just, I mean, honestly, that the thought work is what's the difference.
Yes.
It's really learning how to, and it's not the saying too is, God is doing this for me, not to me. That helps when my kids are sick or our day hasn't gone as planned. I try to see the other side of what's going on. Like our air conditioning's broken right now. It's 95 out. I could be really mad. And I'm just trying to figure out ways to stay cool and not be cranky with everyone because this is out of my control. I'm going to offer it up and I'm going to move forward because this isn't forever. That's another thing. I think we get like hunting season, I'll get stuck in this is always going to be this way. It's never going to change. She's always going to be busy. No, it's not. I know, like, he'll come back to me. He always does, and then he comes back happier. Like the first hunting trip he went on, he drove 45 minutes out of his way, just one way. So an hour and a half total to make a phone call to me because he missed me so much. That's huge. Like he had no service. He drove that far because he wanted to talk to me. And it was just huge. And I remember I left a love note on his throughout his stuff, and that made him feel like so loved. So little things like that I never would have done before, or I did it probably at the beginning. I know I did, but that stops, and I kind of just have the mindset: how do I go back to being that fun person that we both fell in love with?
So it's
Yeah.
like because we start to go on autopilot and like we kind of start to
Yeah.
neglect some things and we get so busy with children and you are working and all that stuff is
Hmm.
going on. And so we can easily not be our best self. And so a lot of the work that we do is becoming more mindful and being more intentional with who do we really want to be and how do we want to show up. And you've stepped into that so beautifully. And it's why I asked you to come on here because your testimony and the changes and for you to have a man that's coming home and telling you, I couldn't wait to get home to be with you because I missed you so much. When before
Oh, we couldn't.
he,
I couldn't wait for him to go hunting. I mean, there was times where I hated him to go, but I was like, thank goodness you're leaving. I just want you away from me. Like, and it's sad. I mean, we both had that. It was really sad. It's sad, and we talk about we'll talk about how far we've come, and just it's really amazing. I'm it you don't even the money really isn't anything. Like it's really not that. You feel like it's a lot when you sign up, and you're like, he was very supportive of it. I remember, I know it was probably a hard thing to swallow because he was buying a new bow and or he's getting ready for a new hunt or another hunt, and it was. I know he was like, oh, that's new. I think it was a new site or something he wanted, but he was like, okay, if you feel like this is what you need, go for it. And he has said, I love Coach Carol and I've never met the woman. Like I love her so much. So it just and he jokes sometimes, maybe I need to talk to Carol. Because my mindset's just so different, and it's just bad things can happen, and he's like, what's happening? What, she's not even mad. So it's a fun life is so much more fun, and I'm just so much more in love with him, and it's made it where I truly can surrender to everything to him. Like, I mean, all our finances are managed by him, and I just say thank you, and I have everything I could ever need, and he wants me to be happy. Like he just wants me to be the best. There's no like, oh, you can't do that. I just love him so much. There's just a different, and I wouldn't have said that to you 3 years ago. I've always loved my husband, but it's not this. I just love him. Like there's just this joy, and we can't to not. I just can't wait to see him at the end of the day. Like it's just a really neat. It's
in love, right? It's like you've got that fire
Absolutely.
and passion back of like when you're
Yes.
dating and you're first together and you can't get enough of each other. You guys have that again after 13
Yes. Yeah.
years, which is really awesome. And that you've got this new baby girl and you're navigating all of the postpartum in a favorable way, where last time it was a lot of stress and upset. And so much so that even your kids are noticing it. Your boys are, it's like, wow, like for boys to notice it and say it is a big deal. So, Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Like that's amazing. So, what would you tell like a woman out there who maybe is struggling in her marriage? What advice do you have for her?
First thing would be self care. Just really try to figure out. I think, and the biggest thing for me too is identifying what I want. Like that's hard for me because I think you put so many, as a mom and wife, you put everybody in front of you. So sometimes I'm like, what do I want? Do I want to make dinner? Do I want to pick up dinner? What do I want to do? So once I identify that, my husband wants to do it. Like he's like, absolutely, go do that. Go pick up dinner. That's great. Whatever's easy. That's always what he'll say. Or I want to do this, and it's really what I want to do. I need to figure it's identifying your what's going to make you happy first. Um, and and that's not selfish. I mean, that's that's not we're not called to just be doormats and just keep giving to everyone when our cup's empty. It's really my biggest advice is fill your cup because if your cup's empty, no one else is going to be is going to get anything other than a cranky mom and
Right.
wife. It's just making yourself a priority to where you just take take the courage, take the step to sign up for coaching. I mean that the one-on-one coaching to me was absolutely huge. The community is helpful, but for me just getting to meet with you one-on-one and just talk about my individual problem was huge. We I think there were 12 calls and we talked about all these different issues. Coaching helped every relationship I'm in. I appreciate my parents more. I've gotten better with my in-laws. It's just I have learned so much through coaching and so much that's not my responsibility that I don't have to, it's not my job to make other people happy. I will show up my best self. I will be as happy as I can be, as loving as I can be, but I also know my limitations.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah,
That's beautiful because I do remember
yeah.
too of the whole thing with your mother-in-law regarding the baptismal outfits and her being able to do things for the baby and all that. And you were able to put any resistance aside and just receive from her, and you really healed relationships with her. So it's beautiful. Thank you for presencing that it's not just about our marriages, that once
Mm-mm.
I always talk first, it's certainly the marriage and then the two of you and your family before we go out into the extended, but it does happen all our relationships start to change as we really become the woman that God created us to be. So, wow. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming on, being courageous. And I know this is going to touch many women out there. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
And so, if you are a woman who's struggling, the links are in the comments down below. Feel free to click those links and connect with me. And I'm happy to do a free relationship assessment call to explore if coaching is the answer. It certainly can have big impacts, just like it has for this happy wife here. So, yay!
Yes,
Yay.
yes.
Thank
And
you.
we have
Praise Jesus.
three bus
Busy children, and we are the happiest we've ever been. We laugh, we don't blame, we just laugh about this crazy stage, and that wouldn't have happened before. So we wouldn't have our last baby if not for this. So I'm very grateful. So thank you
Praise
for everything.
Jesus, right? Praise
Yeah,
Him.
yeah,
So,
yep.
wow. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you.